While most smartwatches would stop at heart rate monitoring, the Ticwatch GTH goes further beyond. It monitors your blood oxygen saturation, respiratory rate, even skin temperature, and does that all the time 24/7 while still having 10 plus days of battery life. Definitely looks impressive for $70, but do you really need it? Well, I'm here to help you decide, so let's get started right now. Selamat pagi! Good morning everyone, Kenneth here and welcome to my review of the Ticwatch GTH. I've been using this for the past month and I've got a lot to share, but I want this to be easy on you, so I'm going to divide the video into three main parts. First, the unboxing and setup, second, the user experience, and finally, the health and exercise tracking features. Before we proceed though, I'd like to remind you that I always give you my own honest opinion. You can read the full disclosure in the description, and please use the affiliate links when you're buying stuff because it'll help me support the channel. Thank you very much, and let's get started with the first aspect, the unboxing and setup. First things first, I want to commend Mobvoi for giving us a clear and accurate list of features in the back side of the box. I especially want to focus on the battery rating here. In my testing, with every feature turned on, 2 alarms in the morning, raised to wake, and all notifications allowed, the watch consistently lasted 11 to 12 days in between charges. This is with the lowest brightness setting, mind you, but still, it's very impressive considering it tracks your health metrics 24/7. So inside the box, we have the watch itself, a manual book, and a magnetic charging cable. Every time you charge, just make sure to keep the watch clean and dry. As far as the build quality is concerned, I know the shape isn't everyone's favorite, but the combination of curved glass front and a metal case all around helps make it feel a bit more premium. As for the durability, even after 3 weeks of usage, I've only got some minor scuffing at the bottom edge, nothing too major, and that's pretty good. There's a button on the side that you can press to open the menu, go back, or turn the watch off. Then you've got all the sensors covered by another glass layer at the back. There's no speaker or microphone, the watch only vibrates, so there is nothing special in that regard, and the included rubber watch band is fine. But should you want to change it, it is detachable. You just have to make sure that the replacement is a 20mm sized one. Let's talk about the screen now. The first time I turned the watch on, I'd be lying if I didn't notice the thick bezel all around. No matter which angle you're looking from, the bezel is very clear. And because the screen is not OLED, the blacks are always a gray shade, which gets worse as you increase the brightness. This is one of the reasons why I always use it at the lowest setting. Having said that, the 360 by 320 screen is sharp enough for everything it needs to show you. Texts look clear, watch faces look sharp, and did I mention the colors are decent as well? I noticed that when I put my own picture up, it's not as vibrant as my Series 1 Apple Watch, but I'm still impressed. Another thing that surprised me is how speedy the watch is for things like factory reset, turning it on or off. It's done within seconds, and that applies to the pairing process as well. It's really as simple as scanning the QR code shown. You just need to set a few permissions and then you're done. Although to use the Mobvoi app, you are required to create an ID first. My first impression with the app is pretty good. I like how the latest workout metrics, the 24-hour stats, and the watch settings are all accessible in one page. And the first thing that I did was to customize the watch face, because let's be honest here, the default one looks terrible. Fortunately, there are a ton of choices and they actually look pretty nice. There's even an option to upload your own picture as a custom watch face, and it takes a while to apply, but overall, I like it. But let's move on and talk about the user experience. And to spice things up, I'm gonna start with the worst one first. So, the notifications. It's really as basic as it could get. No matter what phone you use, whether it's Android or iPhone, you can only read them. The typewriter font is one thing, but even worse, it's got very limited space that needs to include the subject name, so if you have a very long group name, for example, you won't even get to see the message. Anyway, you can tap on a text to see one more line, and if it's any longer, it'll be shown as 3 dots, and there's a button to delete the notification, but you don't have to since they'll get tucked away in the swipe up gesture from the watch screen. As for the settings you have in a Mobvoi app, you can't do much because it's grouped to phone call, SMS, or app notifications. This means you have no control over which app goes into your watch and which app doesn't. It's all or nothing, and this is the same limitation you get from cheap smartwatches or smart bands. Next, in this part, I originally wanted to complain about how I cannot turn off Raise to Wake feature quickly from the watch. But then I tried to update the software. I'll put the version number right here, and I can confirm that this is a problem no more. You just have to enable Do Not Disturb and the watch will stay off. Doesn't matter if there's any notification or hand movements until you decide to press the side button, then it'll turn on. That's great. Anyway, I have some smaller gripes like the screen that doesn't turn on with a finger tap. I thought that would be convenient. Or the Find My Phone feature that only sends a basic notification to your phone. So if you have it on silent all the time like me, your phone won't ring and it renders the feature useless. On the bright side though, I do like how intuitive the user interface is. Even though it's still quite jittery, like a 15 FPS screen, from the main watch face you can swipe up to see your past notifications. You knew that already. Swipe down for quick settings, then left or right for weather, heart rate, all the sensor readings, exercise modes, as well as your sleep and activity data. Basically everything you need and none you don't, which I really appreciate. You can click on the side button to access the full menu, which is presented in big and easy to tap icons. And most of the things here are the same as before, except in Tic Health, you go all the way down, you have Tic Zen and Breathe. Now the first one is a stress level measurement thingy. I never got to use it because it needs to wait for 3 minutes, but before that happens, the screen will turn off and then it failed. I figured, you know what, I don't need it anyway. And then we have Tic Breathe, which is a breathing app that I wish could vibrate to indicate when I should inhale or exhale, but it's still cool anyway because the watch notes how much your heart rate dropped after you breathe. Now, as you scroll through the menu, you'll see other things like timer, stopwatch, and music control. And for that, this is still your basic player pause and skipping tracks only, but yeah, that's as expected, and that's pretty much everything you can do with the watch. Now, let's finally talk about the health and exercise tracking features. So to start, the Mobvoi app can share its data to other services like Apple Health, Google Fit, Strava, or Runkeeper. There's an automatic detection of running, cycling, or walking workouts. A pop-up will appear and just tap on start, it will start recording your activity. Or if you do other things, the watch can track a lot of different activities too. And it is 5 ATM waterproof rated, which means this can withstand 50 meters inside the water. And so swimming is fine, but just don't take it for surfing. Now, the exercise interface reminds me a lot of the Halo smartwatch, and honestly, I think it is the same basic hardware and operating system. Only now the build is better, there's more sensors, the icons are better designed, and the app, well, I said I like it at first, but very recently it was updated with a redesign. It's got badges now, if you're into collecting that, but checking past health data are still quite slow, and worse, you no longer have a record of skin temperature measurements. I mean, what's the purpose of these extra sensors again if you cannot access them in the app? In the website, there's a section describing how these sensors help detect early signs of possible COVID infections, and I never got infected myself, so I can't tell you what will happen. But honestly speaking, features like these should not be the reason why you buy the watch in the first place. There's no GPS, so it's not made for runners. It's a big no for notifications. You can spend half the price and get the same amount of features. And I think it's more about how the watch could help you keep tab of your own health, because now not only you can track heart rate 24/7, you do that for blood oxygen, skin temperature, breathing rate as well. You can see how these things change over time, and that is the main selling point here. The problem now lies within the app because it's not exactly what you call robust. And maybe it'll be updated with skin temperature and breathing rate in the future, but I'm not holding any breaths here. I'm just left unsure whether or not I should recommend this now. So that's pretty much it for the review. I know this is not a very positive review because some of the things here, even though I love it, just left me in a confused state. But yeah, if you have any more questions, let me know down below. I'll try to reply as many as I can. And you can also follow me on social media. I'm on Instagram and Twitter for more behind the scenes and stuff like that. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. I review a lot of cool tech that doesn't break the bank, so I think you'll appreciate it. And I hope this video helped you out. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Kenneth, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.